More audio coming out for Kevin McCarthy. Somebody really wants to be leader. And it's unclear who. I mean, I know this audio probably came from Liz Cheney, right?
Yeah, this is not unclear, I think. I mean, in terms of at least the original audio. And let's just keep reiterating. It is unconscionable that this is dripping out. It's so unethical.
By the
New York Times reporters.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to me. It really is just.
And do we think it's the Times withholding it from the public, or Jonathan Martin and Alex Burns withholding it from the Times for the book?
I'm sure they spoke to someone at the Times, and there was an understanding.
I mean, it
seems to me it's fraud, right? I mean, the implication when I read the newspapers, they're telling me the news that they're aware of. I mean, I said this the other day. People understand that. Yes, they're doing everything they can to validate a story. So if it takes them a couple of months to properly source a story, then it's going to take a couple of months. But just hanging out until we can monetize this we can optimize the monetization seems like a poor way to deliver the news. Nevertheless, here's Kevin McCarthy. It is a House Republican leadership call from 15 months ago. January 10th, 2021. And here he is talking about some of the wayward members in his caucus.
The thing I want to bring up, and I'm making some phone calls to some members. I just got something sent now about Newsmax, something Matt Gaetz said, where he's calling people's names out, saying an anti-Trump in this type of atmosphere. And some of the other places, this is serious stuff people are doing that has to stop. I'll make individual calls.
I think Mo and Louis' comments too. A lot of members have said some real concerning things.
Did they say something today too?
Not that Louis was at. Mo was at the rally, we're kicking ass and taking names thing at the Trump rally.
Well, these are before they kick that ass.
Okay, what did Gaetz say?
Gaetz brought up Liz specifically. I just saw that on Twitter.
Someone just sent it. Gonzalez just sent it to me, so I'm calling Gaetz. I'm explaining to him. I don't know what he has to say, but I'm going to have some other people call him too. But the nature of if I'm getting briefing, I'm going to get another one from the FBI tomorrow. This is serious shit to cut this out.
Yeah, that's it's potentially illegal what he's doing.
Well, he's putting people in jeopardy, and he doesn't need to be doing this. We saw what people would do in the Capitol, and these people came prepared with rope, with everything else.
Now, first off, one could only imagine how many Substacks would have not been written had that audio tape been revealed. Sometime
in a timely fashion,
right? The idea that even the Republican leader was saying, this is serious shit. People are showing up with rope. Steve Scalise, the guy who once said, I'm, David Duke without the baggage, is saying this could be illegal. There's so much violence and so much anger and remember how much just grief AOC got for being nervous.
Yeah, for acting like it was something more than a rowdy tour.
Right, acting like it was some serious shit. That it wasn't just boomers, taking a stroll through the Capitol.
Especially given, I don't know if people remember the memes that were shared about her in that ICE group, for example, of her being sexually assaulted, as the barrage of messages I'm sure she receives on a daily basis.
This is Kevin McCarthy being worried about Republicans.
Himself, his own ass.
Right. I mean,
he's not a woman who could be, assaulted by her. They were worried about their lives because there were threats to their lives. People died that day.
Yep.
Yeah. And Gaetz responded, he said, and this is in an article about it, he called Scalise and McCarthy, quote, weak men, while I was protecting President Trump from impeachment, they were protecting Liz Cheney from criticism. And so that is that is the crux of what this, why Gaetz is going to lean into this, is because this is an extension of, are you with Trump or are you not with Trump? And that's why McCarthy and Scalise are going to downplay these calls now, is because they are terrified of being perceived more than they were terrified for their own lives. Yeah, Gaetz wins in this situation.
Gaetz won this argument 14 months ago.
Yeah,
not in least part because the Times refused to release this information at that time. Now it's conceivable that the source in which they got the tape from refused to allow them to release it. That's possible.
Possible that someone whose name rhymes with Schmiz Shaney.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Patrick from Worcester on the IM just says the other potential McCarthy leaker could be Elise Stefanik. I don't know why she would she have been on those calls? It's unclear. But the bottom line is, there should be a lot of people out there saying, I guess I had it wrong. I guess my underestimation of how serious this January 6th thing was wrong. We won't see that, of course. And frankly, this is old news. If someone anywhere thought it was a good idea that this is going to coincide with the January 6th revelations about what who was texting Marks Meadows and et cetera, they have a fundamental misunderstanding of the way that news is consumed in our society today. It's really stunning. But it's funny to watch, and of course it will have no implications, because the Democratic Party, the leadership of the Democratic Party, on just, again, a sheer analysis of how they have done politics, has essentially diffused this as a wedge issue as much as they possibly could by establishing the narrative that we need a strong Republican Party, that there are good Republicans, that they refuse to tie the Republican Party with Donald Trump. Joe Biden is even, like when you invite Republicans into the White House and say, let's negotiate and pretend like this can happen, you are diffusing that narrative. Tucker Carlson with his reaction to McCarthy's leaked comments.
Kevin McCarthy of California told his close friend Liz Cheney that he hoped the social media companies would censor more conservative Republicans in Congress. Donald Trump, the sitting president, had already been silenced by those companies, but McCarthy wanted the tech oligarchs to do more, to force
Pause it for 1 second. Do you remember the clip we played of Tucker Carlson yesterday saying that the Biden administration had the biggest podium in the world? The biggest podium in the world to say their edicts and to besmirch conservatives. And that podium, of course, was in the White House. But the next day, Tucker Carlson says, by not being on Twitter, Donald Trump has no voice.
Yeah.
Yesterday, being the president was the biggest podium in the world. Today, being president without Twitter, the smallest podium in the world.
But McCarthy wanted the tech oligarchs to do more, to force disobedient lawmakers off the internet. Quote, can't they take their Twitter accounts away too? Those are the tape-recorded words of Congressman Kevin McCarthy, a man who in private turns out sounds like an MSNBC contributor. And yet, unless conservatives get their act together right away, Kevin McCarthy or one of his highly liberal allies like Elise Stefanik is very likely to be Speaker of the House in January. That would mean we will have a Republican Congress led by a puppet of the Democratic Party. So you wouldn't know any of this.
Yeah, maybe Kevin McCarthy will eventually become an MSNBC contributor. That is part of their
that would be the
hiring
trajectory.
practices,
Yes,
right?
That would be the trajectory.
First the Lincoln Project, then
I'll take
MSNBC
those
contributor, right?
It is pretty amazing, though. They got Kevin McCarthy to heel, essentially, to the conservatives quite quickly. That's why this audio comes out and is of any surprise, because there was no indication he had those feelings as of essentially, January 20th of 2021.
Even Jim Jordan's sticking by him. He's got a lot of the Freedom Caucus at his disposal.
Oh yeah, they want a weakened guy like this because he will do exactly what they say.
It's just to go into exactly what's going on at social media companies. Like Facebook was trying to do some moderation of hate stuff like the last 5 years, and they realized they couldn't.
You mean censorship?
I mean, yeah, potato, tomato. They can't do that because they end up getting too many conservative politicians in their dragnet for like hate speech.
Right. We'll talk more about that in a bit because I'm so psyched to watch what happens with Elon Musk.
I saw that you said, I saw on a clip of you on Twitter saying you don't care about this story.
Oh, no. I don't. It's not that I don't care about the story. I don't care that Elon Musk is taking over Twitter.
Why?
Because I think it's going to be fun to watch the thing implode.
Yeah, Sam's black-pilled on Twitter.
Okay. All right. Well, fine. But like what it represents is, I think, an issue.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's an issue. It's just I don't care that he's doing it. I don't care. Like I don't.
You
I don't think there's
fine
some
with
like
Twitter turning into 4chan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Because I don't hang out on 4chan. My life has been fine without using 4chan on a regular basis.
I do agree with Matt though to an extent that like I can't imagine Jack Dorsey's politics are like too dissimilar from Musk.
Of course not. That's the bet. That's why I think this is going to be fun. That's why I think this is going to be like a train wreck. The dude is already like retweeting Mike Cernovich.
Yeah.
He's already
Harassing
retweeting
his, like,
Mike Cernovich,
head of
allowing
ethics.
Mike Cernovich to attack the people at Twitter. Let's go into the fun half.
Okay. And then we'll talk about it. I mean, the issue is that this is a new Gilded Age in which billionaires like Bill Gates have cornered the market on public health and is like the largest private farmland owner in the country. Like Musk is buying a major media corporation to take it private, so like he can.
I am all in favor of outlawing billionaires and putting them in jail. Frankly, if they don't hand over 98% of their wealth to a confiscatory tax, I want to make that absolutely clear. But there's a certain inevitability when you have people running around with that kind of money that they are going to expend it on stuff that's a whim, because of course, if I'm a billionaire, if I've got $250 billion at my disposal and I can expend, a quarter of that to get one of the biggest media platforms in the world.
Let's talk about it in the fun half, because I got more to say on that. I mean, he's taking on a bunch of debt, which will be interesting.
Oh yeah, no. I can't express how much I think this is going to be a train wreck.
Well, yes,
folks. I'll tell you about one media platform that is not dominated by billionaires.
That is a train wreck.
No, what? The Majority Report needs your support. You can help the show survive and thrive by becoming a member. Now,